Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crescendo Way podcast. It's Adam, and I'm joined by Marine superstar Finley Sinclair-Smith. Finn, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, Adam. Great. It's good to be on here finally. Happy to have made an appearance.
It's long overdue, and I'm sorry it's taken so long to get you on. But I think, given your stature within the team, this is massively overdue, along with a flag on the Crescendo as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm happy to be on here.
That's great stuff. So we're recording this today. It's Thursday, the 26th of March. Big thank you to our sponsor, as always, GW Services UK Limited, for all your industrial boiler and maintenance needs. Getting straight into it, Finn. We're 90 minutes away from Wembley. We've got to get through Wealdstone, who last night lost 2-0 to Yeovil. How are you feeling going into this game on Saturday?
Excited. I think the whole squad is really um, the management, the fans. I think you'll be more excited than I think anyone. But you know, we've got a job to do. So I think I think it's saying 90 minutes from Wembley. That's crazy because I was only watching Arsenal against Man City in the Carabao Cup on the weekend, and I was saying the same thing. But I think we've just got to go into it like any other game. Like as I said, we've got a job to do. So I think as long as we go out there, make it hard for them to play, um, produce at the top end of the pitch, I think we should be all right. But I think we're more than capable to go there and beat them.
They made a few changes to the team, and we were a couple of supporters had watched yesterday, and we're feeding back to the likes of ourselves what they'd seen. And whilst they had made a few changes, there is a vulnerability from corners, and also they play a high line as well. Is that sort of a really good setup for Marine for how we set up on an away occasion?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it kind of is because we thrive off playing because we're so, I think, attacking minded going forward. We done it at Telford. We I think we kind of went out there and the first 10, 15 minutes we thought, oh yeah, okay, these are going to try and play. These are going to try and play. We done our research on them and we knew they were a decent side. So, I think Wealdstone are going to be similar to that. But then again, I think we can make it nasty for teams when we go away and they do play a high line. We've got a good stature as defending and seeing games out and stuff like that. So as long as we can stay in the game for the first 45, and then you know, I think we'll get a few times in the game where it'll be a bit end to end, and as long as we can produce at the top of the pitch, which we're capable of, I think I think we can give them a good game.
Are you expecting a sort of similar battle as what we had with Tamworth and Woking?
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, I think they're around the same position in the table, are they? Maybe. I think
Yes.
Wealdstone are a bit higher than them.
Yeah, well, so just a little bit
Um,
higher.
yeah, well, I think they'll be similar, but then again, I've heard they've got a bit more of an attacking threat going forward. But we won't look too much into that. You'll just go there, look at them, do play how we've played all season, and yeah, as I said, we can't look into it too much.
Fans will be curious to know what sort of arrangements are taking place in terms of the team heading down to Wealdstone. We've got, I know I'm aware that we're traveling tomorrow. You were saying off camera about where we're meeting the coaches, etc. What sort of day can you as a player expect when traveling tomorrow and ahead of Saturday?
Well, I think we'll meet the coach about midday, about 2 o'clock, half two, and then we'll head down to Wealdstone. Then I think we'll pick a few lads up on the way, and then we will maybe have to stop. and have a rest at the services on the way down. As it's going to be what, about 4 hours.
Yeah,
And then we'll get to the hotel, chill out. You know, we'll have pre-match meal at about tea time, and then a few lads maybe go down the gym and stretch. If not, just chill for the rest of the night, get a good night's sleep, and then wake up early in the morning. You've got a breakfast. About a breakfast's probably optional, between 7 and 10, and then you've got pre-match meal then, which starts about 11. And then we'll have analysis to look at Wealdstone, and then head down the ground then.
excellent. I mean, you're looking at around 640 away fans traveling down and across all over
Unbelievable.
as well. It's going to be a fantastic turnout, and the excitement's definitely building within the fan base. Where everyone's gathering as much information as we can on Wealdstone, anything that we think could help the team whatsoever, any little tidbits. Just want to touch on your time with Marine as well. You resigned for Marine from Bamber Bridge, and of course, what a fantastic time you've had in this latest spell with Marine. But all started with a 1 month loan from Blackpool back in 2018 when Tommy Lawson brought you into the club. Marine in 2018 versus Marine now in 2026. How vastly different do you find the club?
I mean, as you said back then, 2018. So I was still young then. It was a big learning curve for me. So coming into Marine, it was a kind of a big step for me. You know, being in the surroundings of like men's football and a first taster of it, to now where I've played men's football for a good couple of years and I've been in and around it. It's a massive, massive change, I think. Um, but then again, I think it just brings me back to that Brackley fixture when I come in and scored two. I think that's what kind of kicked me off, and I thought, you know what, I'm capable of, stepping up in men's football here, and I know what I can do.
For a young player, when you left Blackpool and sort of that pathway into league football had not so much gone completely, but certainly been removed. Because there's been a lot of talk this week about the impact of players when they leave football academies, etc., and the negative and damaging impact that has for the lack of support around it. How did you find that as a young player when Blackpool let you go?
It was tough. It was a tough time in my life because I mean, it's tough for anyone getting let go, but I think I'd done quite a lot to prove myself at Blackpool at the time. You know, Gary Bowyer was the manager at the time when I got my professional contract. Um, and I think he gave me a kind of a big push um, to go on and, get the confidence to be in and around the first team and show what I was capable of. But I think as soon as I got let go, I knew it was because he went in and around the club at the time.
Yeah,
Um, you know, as soon as he'd left, I think I, I didn't know who to go to then get the support and, such and such because we didn't have a proper manager.
yeah,
Someone took over who'd never managed before. So I was a bit like, and I had the support off the players, but then again, it's a completely different when you get along when you've got a good connection with the manager who was
yeah.
giving you the minutes, who was giving you your debut. So yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow, but you know, um, yeah, I think it is for anyone getting let go. But it was a big learning curve in my life, and I think if it weren't for where I am today, then it made me even stronger.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your career and how it's gone, you went to it was Longbridge, wasn't it? And then there was a spell at FC United, and then it's Bamber Bridge where you had that
Yeah.
phenomenal season with them. What enticed you to return to Marine from Bamber Bridge? How did that return come about?
Well, it was so. from going from Longridge, it was the Northwest Counties. So then, it was I think I should have been playing higher at the time. So I done well at Longridge. As you said, I went to FC United, and then I wasn't playing at FC United as much as I would have. I was on the bench week in, week out. And one of my old coaches at Blackpool, who's Jamie Milligan, he's the Bamba manager now. He's still the Bamba manager. He was texting me, ringing me, mate, what are you doing on the bench again? What are you doing on the bench again? You shouldn't be there on the bench. Come and play for me. You play every week. Um, and then obviously Bamba were in the same league as FC United. So went to Bamba, had a brilliant season there. And then Marine approached me again. It was Youngie. Youngie approached me. And I was like, you know what? From going from Marine on loan back in 2018, the club's got a big place in my heart. So I know what it's about. It's round the corner. It's in Crosby, so it was a no-brainer. Went to Marine then, and I knew Doyley and stuff. I knew a few lads there, and I was like, yeah, come on, let's go, new challenge. And then it's been successful from then on, getting promoted and stuff.
Yeah, I mean
So
that promotion season, and it's carried on. I mean, going into the National League North, our second season in now, and
yeah,
your quality of your output and quality on the pitch has it evolved. You've evolved, and I'm speaking just from myself and what I've seen from you is you've evolved as the club's evolved as well in the time that you've been with us, and it's a very relatively short space of time, but season on season we're seeing all these improvements. And one of the things I picked up is you've become one of the senior figures now in the team. You're one of the leaders on the pitch, and we hear you talking right throughout the game. That's something that we didn't really get from you in that first season you joined from Bamber Bridge and we went up. How has that come about? Is that managers speaking to you and asking you to become a leader on the pitch, or is that something that's always been in you and now it's just coming to the forefront?
it's a bit of um, I think over the years now being at Marine, and because I've been here for a few years now, it's kind of come out of me. I when I was young, when you're younger, you don't really, because when you get into that men's football, you like a bit. It's quite lively this, but as I've got older and you're around that environment, it kind of grows on you. And when you want to win and you want to be successful and you want the team to achieve things, I think, I mean, and you've got a gaffer like we've got now, and he just wants to win, and he's on the front foot, and you know what to expect of him. I think he's kind of brought that out of me, and because I've played alongside him when we got promoted and stuff, I think you know what to expect of him. So I think naturally that leadership comes out of you, and you want
How
to be aggressive on the. I think that's another factor, what you probably will bring up right now.
yeah.
Over the last couple of years, I didn't have this aggression on the pitch. I used to duck for an header.
Yeah.
I never used to jump up for an header or anything, but as I said, that I think that all comes into one. As you're saying, leadership and a leader on the pitch, winning and aggression, that comes into one.
How do you compare Bobby as a teammate and Bobby? We watched all the time how Bobby would talk to yourself and Sol and try and bring you into the game versus now with him on the sidelines and being your gaffer. How does Bobby compare between the two?
It was, I just see him as one person, and you do. It's hard to from when he's playing and he's sitting next to you in the changing room to then when he's standing up, telling you what to do this, do that. I want you to do that. I want you to compete. I want you to win. I want you to go and score. You know, it, it is it is different, but I think he's that type of person where you think like, oh, I need to get my head around that he's a gaffer now. But
Mm.
I don't think you need to with Bobby because he's just a normal. He's like one of the lads still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why we thrived so much as well.
In the recent podcast that we done with Bobby, Michael spoke to him, and Bobby said about yourself, saying about how your work rates just at another level. You've been unbelievable. Your output on the pitch, including your defensive work, has been fantastic. And he was talking about how, like, well, if you're not scoring, what are you doing in terms of contribution to the team? And I mean, it's very clear with Bobby when you speak to him, whether it's on a podcast or privately. I mean, you are just, I suppose, the apple of his eye, really. For you as a footballer, and you're hearing your manager talking about you publicly like that and privately to people, and it's the same message all the time about how vital you are to the team and to him. How does that make you feel?
I mean, if it feels great, obviously. Would you mind just speaking about you like that? It's it gives you that extra kick as well. You are like in your mind, it's telling you, you just want to carry on making them happy, you know, making them go, oh yeah, he's produced again, he's done this, he's done that. You'll have games where you don't have the greatest of games, but you've just got to pick yourself up and go again. And I think he's that type of manager where you wanna pick yourself up, you want to go again, you don't want to be down in the dumps. He'll put his arm around you, he'll give you that confidence again, and that's all you can expect from a manager. And for him to speak about me like that, yeah, it's there's no better feeling really.
Bobby would make an absolutely fantastic public speaker. I mean, you could be lying there with a mask on trying to get oxygen, and you listen to him speak, and it just make you want to just jump up and run through a brick wall for the man.
Yeah.
I want to ask you as well, there's that famous picture from Macclesfield of you on shoulders surrounded by the fans, and it's used in the cover of Barry Lenton's book, Come On Marine. I just want to ask you when you see this book, sorry, the
Yeah.
filter that I've got on is not showing it. When you see that picture, how does that make you feel every time that you see that?
Um, it brings a smile to my face straight away. And it brings back the memories of that day. It was, you know, what a day, what a day. Every time someone said to me, what was it like getting promoted, beating back at their place? I thought you were the ones, the underdogs and stuff like that. And, I thought you were going to underachieve that season. And, I say to them, like, you know, um, probably the best day in my life so far, career, It was, and I say every single time when we're on the coach back to Marine and you see that wave of fans welcoming you back in, that was, I think that's the one that hit home the hardest. That was like, wow, this is mental, this, you know. But yeah, every time, funnily enough, when it every time I'm in town walking through Liverpool One, I say to the missus, what, coming here, I'm going to Wealdstone, I want to see this book again. So I go in and I see it there, and I'm like, hey, get on that there, get on that. But especially when it first came out,
Yeah.
we went straight into Waterstone and seeing him. We're like, you know what, that's unbelievable. But like my family, like they bought about 5 copies,
Yeah.
so they were chuffed.
It's certainly the picture itself has become, I'd say, Marine's most iconic photograph now. Probably up there with Torre when we beat Colchester on penalties. It's just and the fact that all this has happened in such a short space of time as well. Because we were just reminiscing, me and Michael last night about what we've achieved as a club in the last 5 years, and it's incredible that we are going into Saturday potentially, and it almost feels written in the stars that Saturday has to happen for us. And um, we've had 3 semi-final defeats. Surely this is going to be the one. And so, with that in mind, and you've become certainly one of the most popular players in Marine, and certainly in the time I've been going as well. And you're such a favourite with the kids. I mean, all the adults love you anyway, but I mean, for the kids as well. I mean, you're an absolute superstar in their eyes. And for my nephew, he actually had the picture of you and him as his screensaver on his first phone,
Ah, boss,
which is, I
boss.
mean, for you as a footballer, and you see the absolute joy you bring to every sort of demographic you see at a football ground. I mean, how does that make you feel going on thinking the what you mean to people that you don't really know, but you mean so much to them?
Yeah, yeah. As you said, I don't really know until until like you get time to yourself and you reflect and you think back to the game what we just played or whatever, and you're walking off the pitch and you see all the kids shouting, "Ah, sign this, and sign this, get a picture, get a selfie," and it really hits home when you think back. It you you've got you've got to make time for the people who are supporting you and your fans and all of yous who come to every away day, every home day. You've it especially the kids when you see the kids and the smiles on their face. It does. It makes me day. I think it makes all the lads' days. When they're asking for pictures and even the high fives at the end of the games with yous and the away days and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just it's the best feeling. It is the best feeling.
I mean, certainly the biggest compliment I could pay was hearing a father and son. And when I say father and son, I think the kid must have been about 12, 13, and they were talking about you. I overheard them mentioning your name and about how good you were, and the kid saying, I think he's my favorite player." And I mean, the fact that outside of the Marine circle as well, of that we know of, and there's people of the general public going to a game, walking out thinking, what a player Finley Sinclair-Smith is. And could you see yourself being at this club for a long time? Yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a that's a massive question.
it's a loaded question.
That yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, just basing on that, like the you know the being at the club for a long time. I've been here for a good couple of years now, but as much as you're saying that, I'd love to stay for another couple of years. Um, and it's gonna, yeah, it's just that with stuff going on now,
Mm,
with the cup final, we're still chasing the playoffs, to be honest.
yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to stay for another couple of years. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's still, you're still fairly young as a footballer in terms of your age, and you've still got a lot more in the tank, and you've just hit 150 appearances. You've now hit 50 goals as well. I mean, how proud are you to have done that at this age that you are now?
Yeah, well, I was after the Telford game the other day. I didn't realise. I didn't really, because my mum was on the game until someone said after. Until is it Tom who does the interviews after?
Yeah,
He came over to me, and he was like, "Mate, that's 150 appearances. That was your 50th goal." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah." I was like, "You know what? I'm buzzing there. That's a great achievement, and especially for this club as well. I couldn't have, to do it at this club. Yeah, I was buzzing, and especially because the two goals it was to win the game, so it was 2-0 a brace as well. So I couldn't have got that on better terms, really.
no, and it was a fantastic win as well against Telford. File's just been postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, and I don't think I've ever seen people so happy to see a game called off.
Yeah.
And myself, and that for you as a player, I mean, what benefit was that to you? And dare I ask, were you happy to see it been postponed ahead of Saturday?
Yeah, I think a few of the lads were just because of the amount of games we've had. It's been like I've said this to so many people. It's been like, have you got another game? You got another game? I said, hands down, this has been the toughest season I've played in my career so far. Because I mean, as you're saying, with File being off, you need that extra rest, and and with this game coming up on Saturday, I think it's happened at the best time. You know, um, and going back to being the harder season, I think. we're down to the bare bones. We've got no
Yeah,
players, and that's a big factor in it. I think when you look at other teams, they're rotating the squad all the time.
yeah,
I mean, you see it in the Premier League, but that's the Premier League. But you look at Liverpool, they never play the same 11. So you're rotating all the time. Whereas when I look at us and we're playing 90 minutes week in, week out with 12 fit players, I'm like, that's something else, that's unbelievable. I mean, you're waking up the next day like a tin man, but you're getting out of bed and all your bones they're cracking,
yeah,
and you're like, you've got to go again on Tuesday, and you're like, whoa, I've got a day to recover.
yeah.
But yeah, I think this week's been perfect for rest and recovery to go again on Saturday.
Uh, Looking ahead as well with this season, as you say, it's been a really difficult season, and then to go to Peterborough Sports in which was the start of a run of 5 away games, and we were only able to name 3 players on the bench. 2 of them came on within the first 20 minutes, and still walk away from that game not only with a point, but the manager had said as well about the disappointment because of the chances that we'd created towards the end as well. For you as one of the senior leaders in that team, how does that make you feel looking across what we're achieving as a group?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive what we're achieving. I mean, that Peterborough game away, that was tough. I think that was up there one of the toughest games of the season. I mean, it was there to be won. We had a few chances, but I mean, the journey on a Tuesday night, was the Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was
it's
the
midweek.
Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah, midweek. To go there on a Tuesday night and get a point, I think that's a big, big, big point if you look at our season. But yeah, to go there and perform how we did, I think they didn't really threaten us. I think they had a few counter attacks in the second half where we were tired in the legs, but I don't think they really threatened us. They had us on a few set pieces, but we looked solid at the back. So yeah, to get a point there, it was. I think that's the one of the biggest points of the season now.
We're seeing the likes of Jolly and Zanzala having really good seasons so far, with particularly Jolly as well. He's come back from a big injury and he's here on loan and he's doing really well. He's getting goals. How does that project Marine across to other players outside of Marine about what Marine is as a club and how players can come here and excel? Does that entice players to want to come here, seeing that the success that the likes of Jolly has had?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think it's more, I think you just need to look at it and what we've achieved over the past few years. I think that's an eye opener for any player coming in on loan or even a new player signing permanently. I think you just need to look at the club and what it's done over the past few years. I mean, you know, staying in this league for what, another year, getting promoted. Um, yeah, winning a Liverpool Senior Cup, winning trophies. I think that's all players need to look at for them to come in. But if you've got Bobby as your gaffer, then I think that's a big factor as well, and what he wants to work around. But I think, yeah, and the changing room, the lads will welcome you with open arms, and whoever you are, really, it's just another big club to come in and you know try and excel at.
I've got another loaded question. I was humming and hawing whether I should ask this or not, but I'm going to ask
Yeah,
it.
go ahead, go ahead.
I'm not. I'll never ask a player who the worst footballer is to play with because I think it's just being disrespectful and puts you in a position. But I am going to ask you who's been the best player that you've played with, and that could be for any reason, whether it's their technical ability on the pitch or their leadership. But who is the best Marine player that you've played alongside so far?
What, to to an extent where me like both of us are.
It can be for any reason that you want it to be, whether it's just someone that you get along with better or someone whose ability leaves you in awe.
That's a tough question. It's a tough question. I'm torn between two here. Torn between two. One, one to do with his leadership. Um, Goal scoring and his his ability to just pin defenders and lay people off, and I thrived off playing off him, and I think who it is. Um, I'm gonna have to go with two, so I'll say the
Yeah.
gaffer, Bobby. Bobby, he's with leadership, and just playing 90 minutes, just like the aggression, and you knew you were going to get goals from him. And even myself, I just looked at me and him have said a few times on the coach this season about the Southfield game, the last game of the season, when he done his retirement, and
Mm.
me and him both scored, and he set me up when we switched the play, and you know I think just going off that game, yeah, he's up there, one of the, and the other player is Sol. I think because we were so alike, and we want to play. We want to get the ball down and play and link up with each other. I think he's got that right mind of when to give you the ball and one take a touch, or what give you the ball around the corner, one touch, set you up. I think me and him just bounced off each other, and
Mm.
great lad as well. Great lad as well. So two players there, and I think they were the two players. I've got the picture on my phone in the clubhouse of the day we got promoted, of me, Sol, and Bobby, and it was yeah. I think that just sums what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, sums it up really.
Yeah. It it doesn't surprise me, I'm going to be honest with you. It sort of doesn't surprise me that you would mention Bobby, mostly as well, I suppose, because he's, as I say, in the bonuses. So,
Yeah,
but then
yeah,
the other side as well, Sol as well. I mean, saw Sol as well getting game time again now at Tranmere as well. So happy for him there to start getting, pushing on now under the new manager. Maybe he'll push on with his football league career, which leads me to the final question I want to ask for you as well. Do you still see a football league career on the cards for you as well, with the performances that you're putting out and all the things that you're achieving at Marine?
I'd like to hope so. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I'd love to play as high as I can, but you know, um, life goes on. And, I'm not getting any younger. So as you said, I'm still young, but it can happen anytime, and I think I need to focus on my performance and goals and assists week in, week out, and as long as I'm doing well and I'm making a team win, I think that's what people can be looking at. But it depends if anyone is looking around. I think it's tough in this day and age now in football. I think I've, it's hard to get not to get your name out there, but I think it'll just have to come at the right time. But yeah, I think all I can focus on is performing, and I
Yeah,
think that's what I do, most games. So
that's
yeah, just to go into each training session every week and train well as well.
that's it. And as I say, to hammer home the point, you are, a favourite for everyone at Marine. There's not one bad word ever said about you, because there's always an output from yourself, whether it be goals. It is noticed though, a one verse, when you're one on one with the goalkeeper, but then 30-yard bangers just seem to be a bit of fun for you. What
Yeah,
can I ask that question? What it is about going one on one versus the keeper versus these 30-yard bangers that you like to just score? Is it a mentality side?
yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's just that decision making as soon as the ball comes to you, really. But I don't know what it is about the 30-yard bangers and that like that. But yeah, every now and then they just seem to pop up, don't they? But yeah, that one at Telford was, you know,
The technique on
that it
that.
felt good. It felt good. Yeah, as soon as it dropped, it's not really felt to me. It's not really sat nicely for me. I was saying this to some of the lads. I've had to chest it first, which was even better. But as I've chested it, the ball's backspun.
Right.
So I've had to like kind of dig my foot out and you know just lash at it and, just make sure the laces have connected with it. And the ball just stayed hit then. And I knew as soon as it was going straight in my eye line, I just knew it was in. But yeah, as you said, to the one-on-ones, I had one a few weeks ago where I should have
Mm.
scored. But yeah, that was in my head for all night that after the game. But you can't think about them once they've gone. They've just got to go again and go again. And the goals will just keep coming. That's
Yeah,
what I think's happened to me really. I think it's no good dwelling on a chance really, is there? I think all the big players probably say the same, but um yeah, that chance was, I think I had more time than I actually thought. And I've had all people shouting behind me, offside, offside. So I've stopped.
yeah,
And I actually weren't offside. I think Zanzala was.
right.
And we've made the same run. So yeah, and the ball's bouncing, so I'm like, I probably should have went round it, but then there's a man chasing behind me. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's just,
it's the glory of
that's
hindsight,
gone,
isn't
that's
it?
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I'm having a great season, aren't I? So
you are.
I just need to try and keep them goals coming in.
That's
I
it.
want I want to. My aim was 10, but 10 to 15. So
Yeah,
I just want to keep on scoring.
that's it. And
And
as
yeah,
Bobby said, though, it's the other outputs though that we all see as well. It's how hard you work defensively, or how hard you press off the ball, and the fact that you were saying before about how, like, in the past you maybe like took it out of a header, etc. Whereas now I feel like sometimes the bigger the opponent in terms of stature of a player, the more up for the fight you are.
yeah, definitely. Um, I don't know, this aggression what's come out of me the past couple of years. It's been in that. It's been. It just makes you think more. You're probably going to get hurt if you don't go into a challenge, or
Yeah,
and I think that winning mentality that side part of it's in your head, and you just want to win. So I think that's when the aggression comes out.
yeah,
And I think I get booted enough on the floor and elbowed in the face
yeah.
that it makes that anger come out a bit more and think, where back, you know what I mean? So you've got your
Do any of the like the centre halves at our club, yeah, like so your Wardles and Drysdales, Ansons, etc. Do they talk to you about how, like, to get in to the opponent's centre halves, what you can do to really get under their skin and sort of break their mentality?
think so. They do. I think you just need to look at Wardle to then think what's he doing there. You a bit wall, I think you just need to look at him and yeah, he does say just damn, I've played with him for a long time, Wardle. So and if I'm not producing, then he's getting into me. But really, no, I don't think they get. I think it's just more of a coming out of myself, really.
Yeah. We've just hit a couple of audio issues there with the microphone at your end there. Sorry, Finn. So we missed a bit of a piece there that you were saying, but I don't know whether that might be the batteries on the earphones going. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it was just dropping out a bit there. Sorry, Finn.
Just touching on what was it? The Wardle side,
Yeah,
Wardle.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, he doesn't really give that side of go out and be aggressive and get stuck in. I think that just comes out of myself, really. But he's a leader on the pitch, and so he knows what to expect of me, really.
yeah.
Juice, and then all game, do you?
Well, we'll wrap it up there because I appreciate you got a long day ahead, and then it's obviously a big couple of days coming up now with 2 days to go until the big game at Wealdstone. So, Finn, thanks very much for joining us. I really appreciate you coming on, being so candid as well. Good luck as well for Saturday. We'll all be there. We'll all be backing you as well. There's going to be a big crowd following down. It's going to be 600 plus. Um, I just want to say thank you very much once again. Thank you for all your efforts this season, and we look forward to supporting you on Saturday.
It's been a pleasure to be on here. And to you and all the fans, you know, we can't today, and you know, yeah, we know you'll be so loud the whole game and bring the support and like you should normally do. So yeah,
I'm sorry, Finn. It's just cut. It's the microphone's cut you off there, right on your last bit. Sorry. Yeah,
that counts, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and really appreciate your time today. Thanks, Finn. I'll lip read that last one. Take it.
Thank you,
Thank you, mate.
thank you.
Please help the channel grow by supporting us by liking this video and subscribing to the YouTube channel.
This video is sponsored by GW Services UK Limited.